What will you eat today? Now you're on the road, you're in London. But what will you eat in the last couple days?
So I've been eating, I'm staying at a hotel, I'm staying in Kensington, a little hotel there. They have a breakfast buffet. I eat a dozen eggs for breakfast and a few, I guess, rashers of bacon. I have a little bit of cheese and a little bit of salmon. That's my breakfast for the last 3 days. Tonight we're going out to Blacklock Coventry Gardens or something.
Yeah.
Gonna have some steaks there tonight. So.
Okay, and then when you get there, what will you order?
I don't know. I have to look at the menu.
Okay, but a big steak or a couple steaks.
Well, I'll probably get a steak, maybe an appetizer of some sort,
Okay.
But, yeah.
And vegetables or no?
No.
Fruit?
Probably no.
So it's protein only.
Well, protein and fat.
And fat.
Fat's important, right?
Okay. So that's with cheese and things like that.
Right. Or the fat on the meat.
Fat on the meat as well.
Ribeye steak or something, yeah.
And do you prefer red meat over anything else, or do you like to mix it up?
I prefer red meat for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if your breakfast buffet had red meat, you would be.
I would eat a steak if it was there, but it's not. Yeah.
But eggs are also important.
Yeah.
You just feel the need, or you feel better with them, or.
Well, I actually feel better on straight meat, to be honest. But I'll include eggs because it's convenient.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've been doing this now for how long?
6 years.
6 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
And when you deviate from it, you feel it right away.
Right. Sure.
And you're 55 years old.
Correct.
And you just won a rowing competition.
Well, I just picked up the #1 ranked time in the world on the concept too. Yeah.
Right, and that's a sprint, 500 meter sprint.
Right.
And you're 55 and you're beating Olympians.
20-year-olds.
20-year-olds.
Yeah.
You're not 45, you're 55.
Right, 55.
Right,
yeah.
all right. That's a data point that, it's one data point, but it's something to mention. All right.
Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The #2 guy, the #3 guy, and the #5 guy. Guess what diet they're on?
Carnivore.
They're all carnivore.
Really?
Yep.
All right, so not only is it a way of decreasing inflammation and just having a better human life, you think it's a diet for peak human performance, potentially.
Potentially. I am now, there is a Michigan State decathlete. He's one of the top guys in the country on it. There is a guy just made the U.S. Olympic wrestling team. He's on it. Several guys in the NFL, several top-level MMA fighters, several athletes from all over the world have done this.
Okay.
Rugby players, jiu-jitsu athletes, so yeah.
But Shawn, everyone knows you need carbs.
You need glucose, right?
Okay.
You need glucose.
Explain this.
So glucose, we clearly need. Our brain needs it. Our red blood cells need it. Parts of our kidney need it. There's certain cells that absolutely require glucose. The nice thing is the body is designed so we can make plenty of glucose. We have no problem. My glucose is never zero. In fact, sometimes it's quite high, particularly during high-level sprinting and heavy, intense activity. So through something called gluconeogenesis, which is a conversion of amino acids or glycerol from triglycerides, from fat, we can turn that into glucose, all the glucose we need. And in fact, it gives you what you need, so your body makes exactly what you need instead of over-consuming, because that's what we often do when we eat carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, and I don't want to demonize carbohydrates. A lot of people do fine with carbohydrates. I don't think they're evil or anything like that. For some people, they just do better without them. I'm one of those people. And when it comes to certain health conditions, clearly there's a benefit from eliminating them or drastically reducing them. So I find that like my liver, through another process called glycogenolysis, so it breaks down the glycogen, your liver can increase that by 15-fold just with exercise, and I've had no problem. I've gone in there with relatively low blood glucose and pulled off a world-class performance, rowing.
And so, all right, world-class athletes can have a meat-only diet and still perform. They have to change their diet around that, or as long as they have enough calories and the time in between?
Well, it's, there's a transition period, so it may take several months, maybe up to 6 months for some to fully adapt to that. And then there is, certainly the issue of eating enough, because that's a challenge. A lot of people lose weight on this because it's hard. The problem with meat, the good problem is it's very satiating. The bad problem is very satiating. So if you're trying to maintain a lot of weight, you got to eat a lot, and sometimes that's hard to do.
Yeah, you have to almost kind of force feed yourself to keep that calorie amount coming up. Yeah, I know what that's like. When I went on the vegan diet, I found that I guess I had to eat more, but I was training for the Ironman as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the meat is a good thing because you're not eating those carbs, so it's a great way to lose weight. I think people have always known that, Atkins diets, things like that. But if you want to maintain and keep glucose levels, you have to educate your body that it has to consume more.
Potentially, yeah. Particularly if you're an athlete, yes.
Okay. All right. I went to Botswana on safari many years ago. And I remember going out there and I saw the lions and they would eat the gazelles. And I remember thinking to myself later, you know, they didn't have a loaf of bread with that. They didn't have a salad. And like clearly these animals have been living for hundreds of years without complex carbohydrates that were farmed and then baked. And I just remember having this realization that they seem to be doing okay, and they're eating meat and meat and meat. Do you look at this historic perspective sometimes, or at least when you're having debates or when you're considering this?
Well, I mean, you know, obviously they're different species, right? And so there's that caveat there. But if we look at, you know, the entirety of evolution and all the animals that have ever existed on Earth, something around 80% of them have been carnivorous. That has been the default setting for animal survival. And to become adapted to consuming plants took a lot of specialization. And so we see these big ruminant, you know, animals, these herbivores and other animals, they have this adaptation in their guts that humans, you know, we have some capacity to do that. It's not, you know, I think humans are omnivores. I mean, I've never said humans are strict carnivores. We are omnivorous. I think we favor carnivory. So it's something called a facultative carnivore, which means we do better with meat, but we have the capacity to do that.
It's like a hybrid car. Like it can do electric and fuel, but it prefers the fuel. So if we have to, we can go forage and hunt and gather, but we would prefer to eat meat.
Well, if you watch any survival show, you know what happens, right? The ones that kill the big animal win.
Hey, it's Brian Rose, founder of the DeFi Academy. I've told you my 4-week crypto bootcamp is amazing, but don't take my word for it. This is what my students are saying.
The DeFi Academy was an amazing experience for me. It took me totally out of my comfort zone.
In this course, I was challenged, I was held accountable, and pushed to do things that honestly weren't always easy.
It's been phenomenal, and I can't believe we're already up on our 4 weeks. It has flown by.
Going through this DeFi accelerator by far was one of the best courses I've taken.
You do this course, you really get into the nitty-gritty of the activities that will make you comfortable with decentralized finance.
Thank you so much to Brian and everyone at London Real and the DeFi Academy for even putting together an amazing course like this.
Anybody else that wants to do it, please sign up. It is well worth the money.